Hey guys, it's your girl Tash. To all my subscribers, big up on yourself. You don't know, up. Guys, I've been waiting to showcase this video tutorial to you guys for a while. So yes, I am excited. So the ear extensions that I am using is my very own Afro Straight Hair extensions, and you can get this to purchase from my website, mygripgame.co.uk. This is the hair extensions that I use on most of my clients. So I also have the Afro Kink hair extensions that I use for twisting, but whenever I'm doing cornrows that requires extensions, I always use the Afro Straight hair because the texture is perfect and it blends in perfectly with most hair textures, say from 3A hair textures to 4C hair textures. It's a perfect blend. So go check that out on my website, mygripgame.co.uk. So as you can see, my client has extreme hair loss at the top of the head. And yes, the hair loss at the top is too far gone. As you can see, there's reflection. You can see the reflections from the scalp. So you can see your own reflection on the scalp. So that's when you know that the hair loss is too far gone. But anyways, let me just explain to you guys what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna put like 3 cornrows on the side, so on the left side and on the right side, and I'm gonna do that first just to get the sides out the way, because as you can see, the client has a very good length of hair on the sides of the head. So the top of the head is the main issue, and that's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on just explaining to you guys how I cover over such large area of hair loss in the crown of the head and some parts of the front of the head as well. There's not much hair on the hairline. As you can see, the hair loss has gone very far, and the client barely have enough hair on the hairline at the front for me to work with. So I'm just gonna quickly get through the sides because the hair on the sides is about 2 to 3 inches. So that's quite a good length for me anyways. And the hair texture is also a 4B hair texture. So it's a lot softer than the 4C hair texture. Very soft. You know, as a matter of fact, when I put the hair products inside of the hair it start to feel like a 4A. So that's very soft. Yes, so I'm just trying to quickly braid the sides. So I'm going to put 3 braids on each sides because I'm going to need to put at least 6 braids at the top to get the coverage that I want to achieve. So I'm going to need 6 very thick braids to cover over the amount of hair loss that's at the top of the head. But anyways, a big shout out to my client in the chair who has allowed me to record and to showcase this entire process for my social media and obviously this YouTube tutorial. Thank you so much for your participating. You know, thank you, because obviously this video, you know, is helping a lot of people who may be suffering from similar condition and may not know what is possible or what is not possible. So thank you for allowing me to record this. And thanks to all my clients who have participated in my content creating. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. As you guys know, that this is my passion, you know, and to be able to show it is an amazing feeling because I've done so much amazing work over the years and I haven't been able to showcase it because, a lot of people may feel, insecurity about being online, and um, some people are just private. They don't like to be photographed. They don't like to be, you know, um, videoed, especially when it's for social media. We know what it's like out there. Some people are just private. So I've done a lot of amazing work that I wasn't able to showcase. Um, so there is a lot that I can do, and you know, people haven't been able to see, you know, my craft as much as I would want them to see my craft. So I am grateful for the little bit that I can do. So let me just jump into this. So as you can see, I'm using a bit of the extension to secure the braid. And then I start to feed the hair in. And I'm going to continue to feed the hair in until I achieve the fullness that I want. So as you can see, I've secured the hair on the front of the hairline, and I'm continuing to feed the hair in, but I don't have much hair to grip on. So this is where I start to create a illusion. So I'm basically braiding as if I have hair there to work with, but there's not much hair there to work with. So the hair that I'm gripping on is very thin. This one is not as bad, but as you can see, once I start to move over to the center of the head where the crown is, it's going to be more difficult because there's literally nothing there at all for me to work with. So once I get over the thinning area, once I created the illusion and I get over the thinning area, I then join the braids to the hair that I have at the back of the head to work with. So that helps to keep it firm onto the head. So usually this hairstyle will last for 1 month, but after a few weeks, say about after 2 to 3 weeks, once the hair starts to grow, the braid will lift. And when the braid start to lift, there might be some shifting in the area of the crown where I created the illusion, because obviously there's nothing there to hold the braids onto. So once this thin area at the front of the head starts to grow, there will be some lifting and some shifting, but that usually happen in the 3rd week. So as you can see, I'm just using the bit of hair that I have at the front, and I'm going to cross over the baldness. So while I'm crossing over the baldness, I'm pretending to braid. Well, I'm not pretending, I'm braiding, I'm just not gripping onto anything. So I am feeding in the hair and braiding, but just not braiding onto anything, if that makes sense. So here we go. I'm using the extension to secure the braid at the front to make sure that there's no slipping. And I continue to feed in so that I get the full density to match up with the other braids. So keep feeding in, and yes, the braid is looking thicker, it's feeling thicker. In this case, you just have to go with your imagination and just do what you think. So you will know when to stop feed the hair in. I can't tell you exactly how much I'm feeding in because every braid is it's gonna be a different technique. Okay, so where I am at now, there's literally no hair there for me to grip on, as you can see. As you can see, the braid is moving around. I can move it to wherever I want to move it because I'm not gripping on anything, but I am braiding. I'm braiding and I'm feeding in the braid, but I'm not gripping on anything at all. And this can be very tricky. As you see, I had to take that one out. I had to take out some of the hair and then I have to start again because it just wasn't looking smooth enough. It wasn't looking realistic enough. So as you can see, I'm not holding on to anything, but I have to keep my hands in position to make sure that the braid is matching up to the other braids, because that is very important that they look similar to create the illusion. All right, so now I've gone past the balding to make that braid firm. To make this braid firm, I have to then obviously join it to the hair at the back. So I'm grateful that I have enough hair at the back to work with, because when the hair at the back is not enough to work with, it can be difficult to rejoin the braids once I get over the baldness. It can be difficult to rejoin it if I don't have enough hair at the back, because rejoining it is very important because that's what's keeping it firm. So basically the hair at the look of hair at the front plus the hair at the back is what's really joining the braid and keeping it firm in place so it doesn't shift and it doesn't keep shifting all over. But as I said, after about 3 weeks of wearing the braids and the hair starts to grow out quite a lot, there will be some shifting because then the braids are going to become loose. So then it will start to shift over the baldness. But it's very, very easy to control. But you can just control that by covering your hair with a do-rag at night just to hold everything in place. But obviously, if you're a person that sweats a lot, that could be an issue, because after 3 weeks and the braids are getting old and the hair is growing out, if you start to sweat, then it will be easier for them to shift. But other than that, it is so worth it, because although the client's hair loss is gone too far and it may require a few surgeries to get his hair back, braiding the hair still helps to bring back confidence, and it helps to stimulate a bit of growth. He's not gonna get too much regrowth with just braids. It's gonna require a lot more intense treatment for him to gain his hair back because of how far gone the hair loss is. But braids does help to stimulate growth. In his circumstances, it will help to just keep the hair healthy, just keep his scalp healthy and stimulated, because a lot of times when clients experience hair loss like this, I find that leaving the hair out, just leaving it out and not doing anything to it, it makes the hair loss worse. So once I start to braid on the hair and give them the right hair care treatment, I see a lot of improvement. It may not come back fully the way it was before, but you do see a lot of improvement. So instead of the hair getting worse, it does start to get better and start to look more healthier. They usually don't get back the full thickness of the hair. So I usually advise not leaving the hair out when the condition is anything similar to this. Leaving the hair out makes it worse. It's just gonna like go over time. Your hair is just gonna go completely over time if you just leave it out. Covering the hair as well is very bad because it closes off oxygen going to the scalp, which worsens the situation, and it happens so quickly, so rapidly, that you could just wake up and your hair is just gone, and you're wondering like, what did I do? I didn't see it going. 'Cause you're not gonna see it going. You could just wash your hair and it just come out. You don't see it going. But covering the hair, trust me, it goes somewhere inside the hat or somewhere inside the do-rag or whatever you're using to cover your hair. It went somewhere hidden in the fabric somewhere, but it just goes completely. So I do advise people not to keep covering the hair when they're having hair loss. Just try to keep it open. I know it can be difficult, obviously in terms of confidence. And that's why I love what I do so much, because it is so fulfilling. It is very, very fulfilling to be able to bring back somebody's confidence, even if it's just for a day or a week. Maybe somebody has a wedding or, some important event, and they want to show up feeling confident on that day. Or maybe they're going on vacation and they want to show up just feeling confident for that week that they're on vacation. So for me to be able to bring back that confidence is such a fulfillment. It feels like I'm fulfilling a purpose, my true calling. And it's just so amazing. So with what I do, it doesn't result in further hair loss because I'm very, very careful with my craft. I know my craft and I'm very, very good at my craft. That's why it's my craft, right? Because I know it best and I do it best. And if I ever thought to myself it was going to make the client's hair worse, I would not do it, because I've had clients who come to me for a consultation and I turn them away. I'm turning people away every single day just because I feel like braid is not the right choice for them. It could worsen the situation. Maybe the skin on the scalp is not strong enough. Maybe the follicles are too weak. I look at those little situations because of the experience that I have. I could just look at a picture and just tell you what's what because of my experience over the years. And as I said, for each client is different. Some clients, they come to me and they're like, oh, well, I see you done this with such and such person. And I'm like, everybody is different. Each individual is different. So not because it works for one person and you see that on my page and there's progress, it doesn't mean that it's going to work the same for you. So I can't compare any of my clients with each other. For my whole over 25 years, throughout my whole 25 years of experience working with different clients and different hair loss issues, I know for a fact that I can't compare anyone's situation. So when it comes to my work, I don't want people to try and compare themselves with my clients. It's just best to do a consultation with me so I can tell you, do you know what? I can work with it, or do you know what? I can't work with this. And it's not a thing where, you're going to go back and say, oh, well, I saw you did this on your page and with this person. No, everybody is different. If I'm telling you that I can't, I can't. And you have to understand, I don't have anything against anybody because I don't know you from anywhere for you to feel like, I have something against you while I'm saying that I can't do it for you, but I can do it for that person. No, it's just experience. And, it's very hard to explain and it's very hard to teach as well. It's very, very hard to teach the craft because, as I said, each and every client situation is different, because we're not just looking at the external problem, we're looking at internal problems as well. As I said, some people's got medical issues. Some people who have had surgery, it's a different process. And some people's got scalp issues, sensitivity. Listen, there's so much things. There's so much number of things that I have to consider. So even just to get somebody to come and work alongside me, they would have to shadow me for a few years for them to actually get it. you know. But anyways, as you guys can see, let's get back to the tutorial. Let's get back to the braid. As you guys can see, the coverage is looking good so far. I have had to make the braids at the top very, very thick. But even though I made them thick, they still look natural. It looks natural because of the way that I feed the hair in. So this is what you call a feeding braid. But usually when I'm doing feeding braid, I don't start the knot at the front. But because the client here is so thin at the front, I had to start the knot at the front to give me that volume, to give me that density to begin with. Because if I start braiding with the client's natural hair, it's gonna look way too thin and you're gonna be able to see right through it. So that's why I had to start my feeding braid by making a knot at the front. But usually feeding braid doesn't start with a knot at the front. But I had to do that just to give me that volume at the front. So to me, it's looking very good. As you can see, I'm on my 5th braid at the top because I needed to use 6 braids, 6 very, very thick braids to cover the top of his head because of how large the hair loss is at the top. That area at the top is so large and it's clean. Like literally, I can see my reflection through his scalp. That's how glossy the scalp is. So it required a lot of extensions. But even though I feel like I'm using quite a lot of extensions, the braid still looks natural. So this feeding braid technique is really good, as well. Because I can just like play around with it and just had as much hair as I need and it just still looks so natural. It doesn't look lumpy. You can't tell that it's fake. It just blends in with the rest of the braids on the side as well. If you're looking at the braids from the side go up, you can see that there's a blend. It's just that the hair at the top is a lot thicker than the hair on the side because of the amount of hair loss. I had to feed in a lot more braids than I usually do. But so good so far. I mean, the client was happy. He walked out feeling very happy. He waited a while for his appointment. And that's another thing I want to say to you guys. At the moment, I'm working by myself. I'm working solo. I do plan to have my braiding academy soon. So I will be starting my Grip Game Braiding Academy very soon once I get the time to do so. But at the moment, I'm so focused on building my foundation and just getting a grip on that before I can expand any further. Because as you guys know, I'm doing tutorials and I'm doing social media and I'm doing consultation, and the physical work itself is very hard. It can be very, very challenging, especially when I consult people on the phone and I'm looking at pictures and I'm looking at videos, but when they come to their actual appointment, the reality hits. The reality hits because what I thought I saw in the pictures or the video, their hair is nothing like that in person. So I come across a lot of challenges and circumstances just meeting people in real life, and it does sometimes take longer than I initiated. So sometimes I'm running behind, like very, very far behind time. And, obviously my day get messed up. Other clients, might have to wait, or, there's a lot of those situations that I had to deal with timing because of, clients showing up and the hair itself in person is looking completely different to the photograph or the video that I saw during the consultation. So when you're trying to book an appointment with me, just bear in mind that I work solo. It's just me for now. Um, and I am doing quite a lot. I'm mixing hair products because I make sure that I have my own workshop when it comes to like making my hair products, because I want to oversee everything that goes into the product and how it's been done. So I like to just do those things by myself instead of using a manufacturer. I just like to do all of those work by myself just to make sure that I know what's happening, you know. So please go check out my products on my website, mygripgame.co.uk as well. I make my products from experience, and I experimented a lot with clients and family and friends over the years, just coming up across different hair conditions, and it's like, how can I navigate this, you know? So it's all from experience and a lot of experiments. That's why I come up with the right thing that works for my clients, the majority of them anyways. So when you're booking with me, just be patient. I don't always take on new clients. It could take some weeks for me to take on a new client, because of my regular clients that I have is already in high demand. So I am in high demand with the regular clients that I have that comes on a month to month basis. There's a high demand for me to fit people in. So for me to take on new clients, it's very challenging. So it may take time, or it may be a case where I read your message, I look through your case, and I feel like, okay, this is something that I can work with. I can fit you in somewhere. But other than that, if you are a new client, it's not going to be an easy process for you to get an appointment with me. So just be patient. And I can't have a booking system because I can't have people showing up like this guy in my chair. Anyways, sorry I had to cut this conversation short. Until the next time. As you can see, I got to the end. It's looking great. I mean, from where I started from to where I ended up, the hair is looking great. You could have never tell if I never showed you. So guys, big up on yourself, and thank you so much for your support. Thank you guys. I'll see you in my next video.